Good morning, everyone. Sean Ruggiero. Welcome to the Family First Life AMS Live here on Facebook. Thanks for joining us. We got an action-packed episode today. Bridget's going to be next with the numbers and what's news. But I wanted to kick it off and show you something that you see if you're a Family First Life agent every single week and really draw some perspective from it. If you see this here behind me, this is the issue paid weekly leaderboard. What's funny is Matt Smith, FFL Northwest, $33,500 issue paid for the week. That's actually a fairly low week for the number one spot. This number one spot is often $50,000. I've seen $70,000 or $80,000, maybe even higher. And I mean, that's issue paid. That's what you're paid on. And as you know, Family First Life compensation oftentimes exceeds 100%. Matt Smith, one of the founders, one of the first people high up you can get, senior vice president, board member type. Some of the products he writes are 140%. So do the math. That's some explosive income potential, okay? And that's not his override income, being the owner of Family First Life Northwest. That's his personal pen, business he's writing. So why am I mentioning that on the AMS Live, the advanced market sales? And I don't want that to intimidate anyone, advanced market. It's advanced meaning it's based on the pillar of what we do. We have leads that produce mortgage protection, final expense, and Medicare, MedSup, MedAdvantage. Those are almost commoditized, very competitive. We can go out there, we can take a life insurance license or a health insurance license and produce business and get paid in 48 hours and be the foundation of $100,000, $200,000, or $300,000 a year income. And we can teach others to do it if that's what you want to do and create an agency, okay? Advancing from that, furthering your career, you can sell annuities, you can sell IULs. That's why we call them advanced market products. The products themselves are not that complicated. The solutions that they solve are sometimes a little bit more complex. That's why it takes a little bit of an understanding, but it's nothing to be intimidated by. So what's the perspective I'm trying to draw on this leaderboard? This week, okay, over 50% of the people up here who are in the top 20 issue paid issued an annuity. And statistically for the year, we're just over halfway through the year, almost 70% of the top 20 issue paid issue an annuity. And every week to date, the number one spot for issue paid issued an annuity. So do you want some stability? Do you want some huge income? Do you want to make, no exaggeration, $1 million a year on your own pen? You have to learn how to write annuities. All right? And it's simply a willingness to learn. What does that take? What are those steps? Well, first, say, I'm going to do it. Second, watch the AMS Live. Third, have access to the website, fflams.com. And fourth, use the financial inventory and ask the golden question and the long-term care question every single time. That's it. That's the only commitment you need to make. So we're probably talking about an hour worth of learning every week, and a commitment that no matter who you sit down with, you ask them about what they're going to do with that IRA or the 401k. You ask them, how much can you afford to lose? Or what's your plan for your RMDs? Whatever trigger question it is, I call it a segue question, a question that gets them thinking, I really don't know what you're talking about. Great, here's a trifold. We specialize in protecting your financial capital. We specialize in retirement income planning. Do you have a statement? I'll take it back. It's a very regulated industry. They'll work up some numbers based on the state and the products, and I'll show you what a plan that would look like that would prevent you from losing any money in retirement, but still make gains averaging 5%, 6%, or still helping you gain lifetime income for you and for your spouse, regardless of who dies first. See, these are the things that we can do. So when you see this issue paid board in your email, and you think, I want to be on that, ask yourself, what have I done to get better at annuity and IUL sales? Because until you crack that, you're not going to be here and you're not utilizing all your tools. Think of it as someone who is selling cars, okay? And they sell new cars but not used. Why? You're able to sell them. Why would you not sell them? All right? Think of someone who is not using all their tools, a fisherman out there who only uses one lure when there's many lures to choose from. You're not maximizing your results. You're not maximizing the return on your investment unless you're working to sell more annuities and IULs to maximize your return and get yourself on that leaderboard. So every week that should be a nice reminder, and ask yourself, where am I at in my learning curve? Where am I at in my dedication to get better at advanced market sales? All right, need any help? Go ahead and email us at annuity@familyfirstlife.com. Bridget's going to go next with the numbers and some updates.
Good morning, everyone. I have our issue paid numbers for the week. This is week 30 of IULs. We have Alex D with 2,373, Brigado G with 443, Carl V with 3,099, Christopher F with 3 here, one for 1,856, 2,120, and then 2,335. We have Georges D with 714, Isidoro G with 3 here, one for 298, 251, and 226. We have Jack Y with 5,220, and then Jeffrey E with 3 as well, one for 708, 1,086, and one more for 1,176. Then we have John Martel B with 755, Marianne M with 15,873, and Ross R with 360, bringing our weekly issue paid total for IULs to 38,893. Next up, we have issue paid annuities from 7/18 to 7/24. The top here, we have Michael O with 369,897, Ryan M with 338,308, Ray D with 269,479, Mark K with 192,858, Ryan M with 180,000, Bradley A with 130,000, Dominic W with 100,000, Danielle B with 100,000, Danielle B with 97,700, Zelia B with 91,365, Brittany S with 88,676, Benjamin S and Albert L with a split on 66,796, Danielle B again with 35,000, Kristen S with 34,052, Anna P and Alvin B with 30,000, Ernest T with 30,000, Ryan P with 30,000, Jessica P with 20,000, Michael O with 12,241, and Elaine F with $10,000. The only thing I have for you guys in addition this week is I just want to remind you guys, we have Kim Moothart here at corporate office here in Coeur d'Alene. She was hired back in May and has been training under Sean to specifically be our IUL director. She is a licensed agent as well as is NSSA certified. She is here specifically to help you with IUL business. So I encourage you to reach out to her. She has a lot of great training. We have 5 great carriers that we offer our primary IULs through, and she is prepared and ready to run illustrations, work through scenarios, and review any questions you have about IULs. So please reach out to her if you have any questions. Kim at fflams.com. You can also always submit an Ask a Specialist for an IUL. Those go right to her, so she will be in touch with you if she gets one of those. We're excited to grow that side and division of AMS, and so please utilize her if you need to. Thanks everyone, have a great week, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, Sean Ruggiero, for having myself and Chris Chazarez on the call today. Chris is out of Virginia, and the purpose of us having him on the call is, Chris, you've been here about, what, 3 months?
Yeah, this is halfway through the 4th month, so yeah.
Okay. And the thing that intrigues me about you is you've really picked up on the advanced markets most recently, and obviously your submit and now issue paid numbers are coming up through the roof. So I wanted to talk to you in more of an interview style for more of the new agents out there and the veteran agents that aren't getting into this market, getting into IULs and annuities, on how to properly prepare, how to execute what you're doing. Just curious to see why you're starting so much quicker than some of these other individuals out there, because our system's in place. Obviously, we have a lot of training, Can you give us a little background on yourself, Chris, first?
Yeah, born and raised here in Virginia Beach. Moved away a couple times, but always came back. I have a ton of family, about 40 members in this area alone, so we always wind up back here. Previous to this, spent 10 plus years in the car business, moving my way up through general sales manager, so overseeing the dealerships I was a part of. Other than that, I got a wife and 3 beautiful kids. Been with the missus since we were 14. So when it comes to loyalty and dedication, yeah, couldn't get any better.
That's awesome. There's a good why. There's a good start. The thing that I heard you talk about on some of our conference calls recently, some of our group agency calls, is the amount of preparation you've done in regards to just studying and applying it to the field. Can you kind of talk about some of the things you've done, videos you've watched, how important the training is and how you've utilized it to execute in the field?
Yeah, absolutely. So I had a little bit of a hiccup in getting my, sorry if there's some feedback. I had a hiccup getting my and everything pushed through a month and a half to every single day. I pretty much lived on the FFL Facebook pages and the YouTube pages. I've seen every one of the clips at least 2, 3 times that really hit kind of way to do things. I've probably listened to 20, 30, 50 times, copy things down word for word in a notebook, re-recorded it in my own voice, and listened to it until I got it down word for word. Now, in between my appointments of what I do now, even in the mornings, I'm still listening to the trainings daily, and really have honed in on the advanced market sales trainings, because there's tons of opportunity there. And if you're not capitalizing on that with the clientele that we, serve, you're not properly serving them on all levels that you can be.
Is there any specific videos that you would recommend for someone to watch in advanced markets?
I really liked the one that the training that Ruggiero did on how the IUL is the Swiss Army knife of products, because it truly is the versatility of what that can be used for, and it's really not a hard product to understand. I think people are scared of it than the lack of the ability to maybe retain the knowledge, because it's really, once you understand it, it clicks. So that particular video, and really I just listened to them all. As far as annuities, like the one that the gentleman, I can't remember his name at the moment, forgive me, the one who's been with the company about 7 weeks and issued about $5 million. I like approach with the clientele of breaking it down, give them a T-chart, which one's better. Kind of puts them on spot and puts all of it in perspective for them right in front of them. So there's nothing they can essentially say when they take a look at the positives and negatives of both, where their money's at and where it could be with us. Those 2 videos for the AMS most recently I've listened to quite a few times.
Okay. Let's get into when you are, we'll go into both IULs and annuities, but we'll start with IULs because you're writing them now. What are the specific questions where you find the money, and then how are you executing the sale at the same token?
So as far as finding the money, there is, I believe I count about 4 spots that I generally look for it in. And really it's just finding premium in the home. Whatever to utilize for is up to the customers or the client's needs. However, looking to see what above and beyond that they pay above their mortgage. Are they setting anything aside monthly, savings wise? As far as 401k or whatever they have going with the job, how much are they investing above and beyond the match from their company? Because as you state, free money is the best money. And then also, again, I want to find out what they actually have in terms of assets. If they walk through, I drill pretty heavily down into their finances. And if they walk through those first 3 with me, I'll ask them how much they have in the bank, because I really want a true picture of what happens to them. If something happens to them tomorrow, next week, what do their beneficiaries have access to immediately to handle, final expenses, pick up the bills, everything that comes after that scenario. So finding the premium, and then if they don't have a significant savings or a nest egg built up, the fifth thing I actually asked them that just came to mind is that, what are you doing to set up your retirement? Because I know you don't want to work forever, right? So with the IUL product, they're able to build essentially either a retirement fund or retirement income. Again, the versatility of that product. So if they don't have substantial savings, and especially if they're getting, 50s and 60s, getting towards that retirement age, and they have made no move to set themselves up to where they won't have to work into their 70s and 80s, that is the perfect product to do so. Absolutely. So it's an easy introduction that way.
Okay. And then once you create the interest and you find it in those areas, what are your value props, or what are you saying to them in the house in order to execute the sale?
Again, with the versatility of the IUL versus wherever, if they're saving money and putting it in the savings, setting it aside for retirement, it's obviously not gaining anything. If they're counting on over investing in their 401k and the dollars are exposed to the market, there's potential for loss. So with Global Atlantic's IUL, with having that base of 2% and that cap of 13.5%, there's guaranteed growth built into that. So I have no problem on the spot, first visit personally, pulling up an illustration and walking them through it, showing them the growth, and then over time, if we're looking to generate income, I can show them that as well. But the growth with the large death benefit attached, if anything happens previous to that, to take care of their loved ones. But again, just seeing that cash value build for them that they don't have right now. So when you show somebody an IUL that's proper for their situation, it's really an easy sale, really easy walkthrough. And I wouldn't even so much call it a sale, really. When I first took a look at IULs and what they could do, Luke put one together for me. And once I understood the product, I said it's like selling water in the desert, because there's not many products out there like that. Where you put your money, it's safe, it'll grow for you. You can generate a tax-free income, again, with a large death benefit attached to that as well for the family. And as long as you're funding it right, it'll literally last the rest of your life. With having access to the cash value, if indeed you need it, emergency comes up, or you just want to take the family on a vacation. I mean, there's so many ways to utilize it.
Yeah, I mean, I've always said that it's much easier to sell life insurance as a savings tool than it is as an expense, obviously. So IULs, if you're not doing it, is so much money. You're definitely walking over dollars to pick up pennies if you're not in that.
Correct. And most people are setting money aside anyways, hoping that it works out and that they can retire at some point. But 99% of the time, it's not going to be in the correct vehicle. So this is a safe vehicle for them. Again, if you're not utilizing it, you're not helping your clients across the gambit that we actually offer. Because life insurance, again, there's so many agents out there. But as you said, right now, there's some veteran agents, some new agents who don't know, but veteran agents who still aren't, offering this product to their clientele. And I would believe that would go for most of the industry, from what I understand.
Yeah.
People ask that way.
No question. So in regards to annuities, what are some of the key things? How are you finding locating retirement money, and then how are you getting the sale on those ends of the stick? Because I know you've sold some, as well as you've got a plenty of booking another appointment from an appointment type scenario. So talk to us and kind of walk through that scenario as well.
Pretty easy. Just don't be scared to ask a golden question. What else do you have? And I like John Gavin's spin on it, which I kind of threw into mine as well, is do you have anything that is transferable? Do you have anything else that acts like life insurance that's transferable upon your death? And then you roll into, which is on the financial inventory, 401k. You kind of plant the seeds there, and they'll tell you what they have. So finding where it's at, again, utilizing the gentleman who's done about $5 million in a month and a half. Sometimes I'll break out the T-chart. Sometimes I'll ask them the simple questions of, how comfortable are you with loss? Or how's that account been doing for you? Because if they say it with, any disdain, like, yeah, I mean, I got a 401k, but, you know, and then it's pretty much walking it right through there. But yeah, my the two recent cases that I'm working right now, which are decent size. One gentleman has actually been managing his own funds for the past, I don't know, 10, 15 years, and he's tired of it. And then a couple that I just met with that opened up their account around 300K, and it's being managed by a certain brokerage, and it is now down around 124.
Wow, that's a big difference.
Rough situation, and the wife is actually somewhat afraid of broker. They asked if I could call him to move their funds for them. So sometimes it's not a situation where they want their money to be where it's at. They just don't know. They don't know there's something better out there.
Yeah, I think that's what Sean talks about a lot on these calls is, you
Yeah.
know, nobody really has a plan, you know, so the more that we can come into these homes and identify plans for people, and really, you know, we're people that we sell problems, not necessarily products. Obviously our products solve the problems, but if we're not in the house discussing how they're have a potential, you know, risk of losing money, or how they're paying fees, or how they may outlive their money, or all these different variables, which are all the fears of retirement, it's going to be difficult to move it. Is there anything specifically you find effective to get another appointment or create the interest to have that next appointment in regards to annuities? Road tracks or anything like that?
No, just planting the seed in the sense of, you know, talking about zero fees, no downside market risk, really only growth. You'll go sideways, but it's near impossible for the market to do nothing for the next 20 to 30 years or lose money every year. It's just not going to happen. So you will have that growth in there. And then taking that automated approach, as you put it, versus having to watch your account and, again, have those up and down times where you'll never have to think about it, where your money's at, because it's automated and you know you'll never lose a dollar.
Awesome.
So that's, you know, again, just that statement there that you'll never lose a dollar. And I tell them, which is okay, you know, the only way to, for that balance to be lower than what you transfer over is if you're overdrawing down on the account, which would be your choice. But other than that, you just look forward to growth, and you're safe in the years where the market doesn't do so well.
Here, my final question is because since you're newer, is there any tips that you would give anyone that is fearful to get into this, you know, IUL and annuity Quintons? Do you have any advice in regards to how you maybe overcame your fear, if you had any, or if you're more of a jump in with both feet type of guy, but but I mean, do you have any advice for people that are kind of watching from the outside, but they're not really willing to take any action on this?
Yeah, study the product, watch the videos, but I learned the most, obviously, not just from watching the training, but playing with the illustration tools, you know, and seeing, again, just messing around with the numbers, you know, with the IULs, turning income off, turning it on, at what ages, what programs, because we have the, you know, the foundation and a couple of different programs with the IUL, as well as the annuities. Still want to delve a little deeper. Personally, haven't looked into the income, the immediate income annuities. So that's something I need to get more knowledgeable on, have a good basis. But playing with the illustration tools is probably the biggest thing where it just, everything clicked for me. Then I have a great support system in Luke and in Dean and in you, if I do have any questions. But just do it. Again, there's if you want to properly help your clients, okay, again, they can get life insurance from anywhere. So we have enough carriers, enough products to provide the best in terms of rates on that. But again, they still have, you know, another portion of their life that they have concerns with that we can help them. So if you're not asking the questions, but you're saying you service your clients, then again, you're not serving them to the fullest. So ask the questions, open it up, seek advice, and seek, you know, mentorship from your VPs or from whoever brought you in, and then anybody's more than happy to help you. I I can't tell you from the past 2 weeks that I've had how many people within the team have contacted me with a cell phone or Facebook inbox for all kinds of questions and concerns and advice, and I answer every one of them.
Yep.
You know,
The
they're not on
big
my
thing
team,
is-
so it doesn't benefit me, but I would gladly do it for anybody.
Yeah, that's good stuff. I see it, and it's amazing because you've probably been issue paying 20,000+, but now you're writing 20,000+ every week, and you're really starting to hop onto the momentum and appreciate what you're doing for the team and everyone else, and it's you're a great inspiration to all of us. So thanks for coming on the AMS call, and keep up the good work, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, take care, everybody.
Hi everyone, Skylar Smith here. I just wanted to talk to you today about today's PSA, Public Service Announcement for Medicare Sales. We are quickly approaching the AEP period of the year for Medicare Advantage plans. The AEP is the annual enrollment period where millions of Americans can look at the new plans for the year 2020 and decide whether they want to switch plans or not. Now, this is a pivotal time of year. This is the biggest time of year for Medicare because, like I said, millions of Americans will be looking to possibly switch their plans. Now here at Family First Life, we're kind of just getting the train rolling on our Medicare sales. And so we're continuing to encourage everybody that we can to make sure that they have their prerequisites, their contracting, and their education done well before AEP. Now that AEP goes from October 15th through December 7th. And one thing that people may not know about the carriers and contracting is some carriers just before AEP will shut down contracting. So don't feel that you can wait all the way up until right before AEP starts to have this done. We want to be well ahead of the curve so that when AEP starts and the floodgates open, we can just hit the ground running and start writing policies. Now again, that AEP, that annual enrollment period, is from October 15th through December 7th, and it's the biggest time of the year for Medicare. I also want to talk to you about a couple of the carriers that we are using, and they're some of the biggest carriers, if not the biggest carriers in the country. We're using United Healthcare, which is one of our main carriers, and United Healthcare does a wonderful job. They're a nationwide carrier, and they actually we actually have the opportunity to be able to get localized training for our specific areas and the specific products in your area through United Healthcare's representatives. They will actually run classes and trainings up until this AEP period starts to make sure that everybody that is contracted with them is ready. So it's not just on us here at Family First to train you. The carriers will actually do face-to-face trainings, and some of them are pretty good. They offer food. They offer. In fact, I just went to Dave & Buster's for a Humana training. They gave us cards to play with after we were done with our training. So they offer a lot of benefits and some fun ways to get your education for these carriers. Another carrier that I wanted to mention was Humana. Humana's got some really strong products out on the market, and they're really competitive this year. Those are our two biggest carriers. One of the things that United Healthcare also offers is a little booklet. It's called Learning the Basics of Medicare. Now, if you haven't seen my in-home training video, that's okay. You can go back and watch it at some point in time. That really breaks down the different areas in Medicare where you need to point out to the clients. But this little booklet does it as well. So if you're a little nervous about going in and not having something, you can take this booklet and it will go step by step on explaining Medicare to your client right in the house. So what a fantastic way it is to be able to get into AEP with these kind of tools, and what a wonderful time of year that this can be for you. Again, this is important because it goes hand in hand with a lot of what we do, especially in the final expense market. And to just illustrate that for you just for a minute, just yesterday I was out in the field, out writing business in the field, and I had some time to do a door knock. I went and knocked on the door because I couldn't get this particular gentleman on the phone, And when I got there, he said, "Oh, I thought that was free." And I said, "Well, no, it wasn't free." And I noticed that he was a little bit older, so I proceeded to ask him about Medicare. And he goes, "You know what? I do have some questions about Medicare. Why don't you come in and talk with me about that?" So I went in, had a little chat with him, found out that I really couldn't do anything until we got into that annual enrollment period, October 15th through December 7th. So I reset an appointment to get to him on October 15th. But in the meantime, that built enough trust with him that we were able to talk about a final expense policy, and he bought a final expense policy from me, and he was happy as a clam after I left. Again, Medicare, being able to talk about Medicare freely with your clients builds huge trust. Not only that, you have to remember about the residual income that you're going to get from Medicare as well. Now here at Family First Life, we kind of tout ourselves as being the best and the brightest. We can take this industry by storm, but we need your help. Please go ahead and get your contracting done, get your education done. It'll help yourself, it'll greatly benefit your clients. So if you have any questions about being able to do that, please reach out to either Chantel or myself, and you can reach out to Chantel at medsup@familyfirstlife.com. Again, that's MEDSUP at familyfirstlife.com. Or please join our Facebook page, FFL MedSup Training, and there's a lot of resources on there. You'll have to ask for permission to join, and if you have an Americo number, well, you'll get right in. So go ahead and join either that Facebook page or reach out to Chantel or myself on medsup@familyfirstlife.com, and we'll be glad to help you. Again, let's get ahead of that curve well before AEP gets here and get all of our education and prerequisites done so you can hit the ground running October 15th through December 7th. Thank you. You guys have a wonderful day and keep writing business.
Hey everyone, Sean Ruggiero. I'm here to wrap up the AMS Live here on Facebook. I want to talk about something that is, it's near and dear to my heart. It's something that fuels me, and it's something that reminds me where I came from and why I work so hard for what I've worked for and will continue to do so. 2 weeks ago, if I'm doing the math right, I was really flattered, honored to be asked to judge. There was a 5-judge panel for the Amazon Angel Hack in Seattle. So I was one of 5 judges, and it is a 72-hour session where using the Amazon AWS services, the web services, as well as IBM, who was a co-host, using those technology platforms to create a startup and code the startup on site in less than 72 hours, and then present it in 2 minutes to a panel of 5 judges who are going to score you in 6 different categories and then give you a prize. And that prize being money, credits on AWS and IBM Cloud, but also entry into a mentorship program. So out of the top, I think, 10 angel hacks that are going on across the country, the winners will be entered into a scholarship mentorship program where they're going to learn how to keep their startups going off the ground. All right. So why am I mentioning this? I mention this because, hey, I was proud to do it. I was really honored. I was flattered. It was a very cool thing. Okay. But that's separate from the message I want to deliver. The message I want to deliver is the inspiration that I got. Okay. See these people here? They had, the youngest contestant was 14 years old. The oldest contestant was 56 years old. These were well-educated people. These were people from diverse cultural backgrounds. All right? And I'm not afraid to say it. There were more minorities and second and first generation immigrants than there were majority Caucasian, multi-generational American people there. Why is that important? Okay? It's important because to be up there, to simply dedicate yourself for 72 hours to code, to not sleep, to have a dream and an idea and have confidence in yourself that you can build something from an idea in your mind and with what's in your heart and gut is pretty amazing, okay? It's something that we hear about. We see it on movies, but we don't think that that applies to us. The reality is it does. See, Family First Life itself is only 5 years old. 5 years old, right? Many managers, many people, I think of people I see on Facebook who they've been going at it for a year, 2 years, maybe 3 years. Maybe you're Mike Killiman and you've been with it since the beginning and you do millions of dollars a year. But you know what I appreciate about Mike is he still treats it like a startup. He appreciates where he's at. And when you talk to Mike about what his goals are, they're lofty. I see new agents, and I'm thinking of some in FFL Northwest here in the Northwest, people like Jessica and Dean, and just throwing out names, okay? Think of Ivan. I can think of people all over the country who are passionate and working hard. And so I'm asking you, how are you treating this? See, some people get those commission checks, and they're making a couple $100,000 a year, and they're working for their bills. They get that money, and now they go spend it. See, I was fortunate enough, coming out of college, I took a position in Oakland, California, managing a multi-use parking garage, right? Awesome stuff. But I moved over to San Francisco, where I lived. I worked in Oakland, lived in San Francisco, and I was around people who did startups. And I joined a group of guys, and we literally ate top ramen, right? Traded, exchanged clothes and shirts so we could have a various wardrobe, and shared a 2-room apartment in San Francisco because we were a part of a startup. See, if you treat your job like a startup, almost every dime you get is funding, and you should reinvest it into the business. If you treat a job like a startup, you're committed to 2, 3, maybe even 4 years of hard, grueling work, of denying yourself the pleasures, the nice cars, the newest cell phone, so you can grow a bigger business. But we look at stuff like this, and we've got what I call them kids. We've got people as young as 14 who are willing to sacrifice whatever it takes to see their dream through. And when they win, they're ecstatic and it fuels them for more. Why don't you feel that way when you sell a policy, when you help someone out, when you deliver a death certificate, when you buy more leads, when you open your first office, when you make your first hire, your second hire, your 5th hire, whatever it is? See, you must, in my opinion, treat it like a startup. Don't be doing this job to pay your bills. Do this job to fuel your startup. Commit to change your perspective and treat this like a startup for the next 3 years, and it will reap massive rewards. And in fact, your chances of building something big that can pay you a lot of money are probably higher than the people out there. Yet we take it for granted. Don't take it for granted. Draw inspiration off those who are out there every day, trusting in their ideas and their abilities to get a company from nothing up to something. And know that there are people ahead of you that are doing the exact same thing. And we're only 5 years old. We're still babies, toddlers, crawling around, figure things out. Ask Sean Mike. He'll be the first to tell you he's figuring it out as he goes. So is everyone else. And look at the results that we've had. So treat it like a startup. Deprive yourself of those things so you can fuel the business and commit to 36 months of working hard so you can get something bigger in the end and grow it from there. Thanks everyone for being on the AMS Live. I appreciate you. Have a great day, a great rest of the week. Take care.